me. Now this morning we're talking politics. This time around, it's about 2023 politics. You might say it is still a long time, but the politicking has started. That's, of course, necessary for those that are very serious with 2023. Of course, for the politicians, the background, the underground meetings, interest groups meeting, stakeholders, of course, they are already preparing for the 2023 governorship election also in Abia State, and some interest groups suggesting some zoning formulas, maybe away from the grand norm. You will get to know about that later on this morning on the program, to produce who will succeed Governor Okezie Ikpeazu. Although the 2023 general election is still over a year away, the political atmosphere in Abia State has become intriguing, and this is primarily because of the underground moves over the successor of the governor, a second-term governor who will no longer contest in 2023. Anyways, let's delve into the conversation this morning. I have the leader of one of those interest groups right in the studio this morning. He's a former lecturer, of course, a doctor, a PhD holder, 1999 governorship candidate right here in this state. He contested against the former governor Ojo Zakalu back in the day. That was in 1999 under AD, a deputy national chairman of DPN during Abacha regime, and of course a member of the National Executive Committee of the SDP, that's the Social Democratic Party, and the leader of the Kwalangwa Interest Group. Now you have an idea of our direction this morning. Dr. Max Nduaguike. Glad to have you join us, Doctor. Good morning to you and welcome to the platform on Flow FM.
Thank you. Glad to having me.
All right. Interesting. That meeting that was held on the 23rd of June 2021, 2 days ago, that was on Wednesday, is generating a lot of reactions, both on the social media, outside the social media. Some persons are gathering and talking about it, even on radio and television stations in this state. And it's about the 2023 election. Who will succeed Governor Okezie Ikpeazu? Can you take us through the outcome of that meeting again? I saw the communique, you signed that communique, so that will form the basis of our conversation this morning.
So thank you very much. The essence of that meeting was to sensitize our people to pursue their aspiration to produce the next governor of Abia State in 2023. This state is basically made up of two clans, the old Bende clan and the old Aba zone.
Okay.
And since the inception of this state, the governance of this state has always been in the hands of the old Bende group. Both the military governors and all that, were all from the old Bende group. Obonianu came in, is also from the same area. Ojo Zakalu came in, also from the same area. T.O.G. came in, also from the same area. Now the good thing about it is that, T.O.G. comes from the same senatorial district with me, for example. I come from Isialangwa North. The Abia Central is made up of 6 local governments. Ikwan Umuahia, Abia North, Umuahia North and Umuahia South, on the Bende side, on the old Bende side. And Isialangwa North, Isialangwa South, and Osisioma on the old Aba zone side. One expected that when Ojo Zakalu completed his tenure, he would have handed over power to the Ngwa group. He did not do that. He handed over power still, to his brother, old Bende person, which is T.A.O.G. T.O.G. shares the same senatorial zone with me. And we share everything just like that, For example, the Senate position is shared. Each time there is assuming a Bende man goes this time, the next turn, will be an Ungwa man. We've been alternating the Senate seat, since 1999.
Okay.
So we usually share things like that. Now, the Bende side of Abia Central, has comprising 3 local governments, have ruled this state, for 8 years before it went to, the south. Coming back from the south, we expect that, the governorship should also make a stop at the Ungwa side of the Abia Central.
Okay.
In other words, if we in Abia Central, comprising 6 local governments, have been governed by 3 local governments only in Abia Central, there is no reason to deny the Ungwa side with also 3 local governments from not acceding to the governorship. We share these things in common with the Abia, with the Bende side of Abia Central. So there's no question about.
So you're saying that there is going to be a new rotational agreement in Abia State, because the one I know is about Abia North, Abia Center, and Abia Central, and Abia South along the Senatorial district. Now you're coming up with a new formula.
No.
Is it?
It's not a new formula.
Okay.
This state was created on the basis of 2 clans. The Abia Charter of Equity talks about 2 clans: the old Bende zone and the old Aba zone. That makes up Abia State. So this zoning, this senatorial zoning thing, is purely administrative. It doesn't change the composition of the people. It doesn't.
Okay, what now led?
For example, the member representing say Umuahia North,
okay,
does not represent me.
So what led to
even though we are in the same senatorial
what
district?
led to the issue of rotating along the senatorial districts in the state, now that some other interest groups along the line of Abia North saying it is our turn? All other senatorial districts have their own fair share of governorship position in the state. Now it should go back to the north. What led to that?
I think it was a mischief, by Ojus Okalo. If Ojus Okalo has respected the natural division of the state, which is old Aba zone and old Bende zone, this issue would not have arisen. We would have been alternating the governorship, in that way.
Okay.
So it was a mischief, done by Ojus Okalo by trying to create. Okay, why did he hand over, if he intended to give power to the Ngwa side, having completed 8 years, being a Bende man, what would have stopped him, handing over to an Ngwa man, So for me, I consider it as a mischief, and everybody sees it that way,
Don't you think the politics being overheated at this point in time? We're in 2021, and we're talking about 2023 at this time. Politicking for 2023 starting very early.
Nobody is politicking. I am not politicking. I am not. The Ukwangwa Elders Council is not a political association. It's a community. We call it meeting amala. So we, as a traditional setup, of culture, social, just like that. We're not politicking. We're simply saying what our desires are.
Okay.
And how we want to go about
under
it.
this arrangement that you've made known this morning, and you're saying the governorship seat should be zoned to Ukwalangwa. Under this arrangement, is the present governor of Abia State also covered? Is he not from the same Ukwalangwa axis?
Yeah, he is from the same Ukwalangwa axis.
So do you think on that equity and fairness that you're preaching, do you think it's proper to say someone from the same extraction of the governor should come back and become the governor of Abia State in 2023?
Fine, that is the mischief I'm talking about.
Okay.
What made Ojus Okalu give it to another Bende man after his own tenure? It's the same mischief I'm talking about. They have created a precedent and will continue along that line. You cannot do it for a Bende man and reject it, for an Ungwa man. It's unacceptable. It's unfair. is unjust.
Now, just this morning, the governor spoke on this particular issue. It's been generating a lot of reactions, and it is expected as a politician also, the governor should speak his mind, because a lot of persons are expecting him to bring his successor come 2023. Now, the governor spoke through his chief press secretary, Barrister Onyebuchi Memanka, and said he expresses deep concern at the current exchange of political brickbats by politicians and groups who succeed him in 2023, describing such exchanges as unnecessary, premature, and capable of distracting his administration. Was the governor consulted before this recent position?
Why would the governor be consulted? When we are holding an Amala meeting, I mean,
he's from Ikwalangwa extraction, and I understand he's a stakeholder as far as things are concerned in this state.
You see, the governor is concerned with governance, right?
Okay.
We in our communities are also concerned about our own welfare, isn't it? So we are entitled, to meet as a people at the community level to discuss what we aspire to achieve. There is nothing wrong with that. And by the way, we didn't start it. It was started, by the old Bende side. They were first, to start claiming that they are going to produce, the next governorship.
Okay, by your calculation now, old Bende side has ruled how many years?
Now, if you want me to count, it's almost uncountable, starting from the military administrators. They're all from there. Starting from there. There's something our people are saying. You say, this is, when Okezekwazu came on board as governor, we started hearing first Ngwa vice chancellor, first Ngwa this, first Ngwa that. And people are asking, was Abia State recently created? Abia State has been here for a long time. But the people of the Ukwangwa extraction were completely excluded, from the governance and administration of this state. So this is why Okezie Ikpeazu has become, if you like, a kind of someone who is now trying to ameliorate a situation that was very, very awkward, for us. Now, when he appoints, a vice chancellor, say this is the first Ngwa vice chancellor. That university has existed for more than 20 years, but you never had an Ngwa vice chancellor. They were all from the Bende side. Ministers, ambassadors, everything had always been from the Bende side. We didn't kill ourselves.
Okay, Dr. Max, shouldn't we be talking about competence above rotational kind of things in appointing people into positions in the state? Now, you mentioned the vice chancellor issue. The same issue cropped up during the last general election. The governor being from Ungwa extraction, especially representing that senatorial district, saying for equity and fairness, the PDP came out and said we should allow Governor Okezie Ikpeazu be the governor of the state. Don't you think we should look beyond rotation? We should look beyond equity and fairness and talk about competence?
Oh, I am always amused, when people go about saying, pretending to say that rotation excludes competence.
Okay.
It's not true. There are competent people everywhere. There are competent people everywhere. Give them the chance. That's all. You will find very competent people everywhere. People capable of ruling the state in every local government. You will find them. Just give them chance. I hate this idea of trying to claim that rotation, is undemocratic. What is undemocratic about it? It is not. So rotation accommodates, first of all, the person who is going to run. This is a multi-party system, isn't it?
Okay.
Fine. If I bring someone who is not competent, and you bring somebody who is more competent than my own, the chances are that I'm going to lose, isn't it?
The call made by Ukwalangwa elders, is it to a particular political party or to all political parties that will be presenting candidates come 2023?
We are if you like, begging. Let me use that word now if it comforts people, if it gives people, a pleasure. We are begging that all the political parties, all the major political parties in Abia State, zone their governorship tickets, to the Umunato Ngwa side. That is, the Abia Central, the Ngwa side of the Abia Central, comprising 3 local governments. As much as, the Bende side of Abia Central also comprises, 3 local governments. And they have ruled the state for 8 years.
All right, it is still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions, right here on Flow 94.9 FM. And of course, we're talking about 2023 general election, the position of Ukwalangwa elders. There was a meeting on Wednesday, and that meeting has been generating a lot of reactions concerning who will succeed Governor Okezie Ikpeazu. And I have been speaking with Dr. Max Nduaguike. He's a former lecturer, PhD holder, 1999 governorship candidate. From Abia State, of course, under AD, on the defunct AD now. What happened to AD, the metamorphosis into ACN, then down to APC. Then Deputy National Chairman of DPN during Abacha regime, a member of the National Executive Committee of SDP, and leader of Ukwalangwa elders, of course. It's an interest group as far as the 2023 general election is concerned. Well, Dr. Max, let's take a look at that communique again. Tell us the local governments that make up Ukwalangwa, and I want you to get us into the nitty-gritty of Ukwalangwa, exactly that interest group, and that word Ukwalangwa. Does this include those local government from Ukwa axis, the Ukwa East and Ukwa West now?
Of course, I know where you're coming from.
Let us into that.
Now, we have 9 local governments in Abazon.
Okay.
These 9 local governments comprise Ukwa East, Ukwa West, Ugunabo, Sisioma, Aba North, Aba South, Obingwa, Isialangwa South, and Isialangwa North. 9 local governments. Now, the Amala meeting we had comprised of all the 9 local governments. Now, somebody, by whatever mischief, failed, to announce or something like because I know that when the local governments were being accredited,
yes.
So somebody was saying that Ukwa East had not arrived, and if they did not arrive, that is the only local government that did not come. But that does not mean that they are averse, to what we are doing. They are not. They have been attending our meetings, in the past. We've been holding these meetings, This is the first time we launched the project, properly so called.
So where is this discordant tune coming from? I'm sure you've seen the communique coming from Ukwa youths saying we dissociate ourselves from the position of Ukwalangwa elders, and Ukwalangwa elders do not represent our position come 2023.
Yeah, we anticipated this. You see,
okay,
this is politics. Now, people, that's what is called the divide and rule. People try to create problems where they don't exist. Ukwalangwa youths cannot speak of, when the elders meet, the so-called Ukwa youths, cannot naturally cannot interpose their voices.
Because Dr. Max, are you sure you have the backing of the largest population of Ukwalangwa on this position you've taken come 2023?
Oh, boy. Well, you were not there.
I wasn't there. I want Abians to know, because discordant tunes coming from left and right. Today, it's a particular local government saying you didn't speak for us, and some youths coming tomorrow to say, no, this is not our position.
You cannot say that a particular local government says we cannot speak for them. No local government did that. No local government came out to say we were not speaking for them. Granted, there's some youths, probably who were motivated by some whatever, I don't know, can come out and make that statement. They're entitled to it. But when their elders meet and speak, they have no voice anymore. That is the traditional governance, that we know in Igbo land. When the elders come together and take a decision, the youth, key in. And let me also say to you that all the organizations in Ukwalangwa land, are members, of the Ukwalangwa Elders Council.
Okay.
Yeah, they derive, if you like, their existence, from the Elders Council. So you will see that, by the next meeting of the Council of the Elders Council of Ukwalangwa, you will see that, most of these women groups, youth groups, and all that, will be present.
So are you saying Ukwa East and Ukwa West were well represented? They've been so represented, well represented in Ukwalangwa Elders Council.
Don Ubani, I'm sure you know him, spoke at that meeting. Honorable Olunwa, the former Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly, was there and spoke, for the Ukwa people. And there are other persons, in fact, the person who moved the motion is a House member, from Ukwa West. Seconded, by the House member, for Isialangwa North, Ginger Onwusiga. So everybody, every person in Ukwalangwa, every local government was represented, and they spoke there. Each local government, was given the opportunity to express the views of their people, and they did. They did. So it's unfortunate you were not there. It was a well-attended. I have not seen Ngwa people in that kind of composure before.
So, are you surprised
people,
at the reaction that your demand has generated, especially from Abia North Senatorial District?
I am not surprised. You know why?
Why?
Because I know the game of politics here has always been that of divide and rule. Now, they have always held the governorship. So they determined everything. We were just outsiders in this state, more or less outsiders. Since the creation of Abia State, the Ukwalangwa people have been more or less outsiders, in this state. Right from the military administrators, to the elected governments. For the first time, an Ungwa man is governor. For the first time, an Ungwa man has found his voice in this state. And that is so irritating for some people. Some people cannot take that. And I get worried. We're supposed to be brothers and sisters in this state. We're supposed to be together. We're supposed to be, good neighbors. So why are people so irritated, that for the first time in the history of, Abia State, an Ungwa man is governor and has given voice, to Ukwalangwa people?
It might be due to the latest position of Ukwalangwa elders now. Some persons are arguing that the position of Ukwalangwa contravenes the famous Abia Charter of Equity, although it has not been passed into law by the House of Assembly. I'm taking you back to the Abia Charter of Equity. So I want you to help us. If Abia Charter of Equity is based on senatorial zone or between Old Bende and Aba zone.
I have a copy of Abia Charter of Equity.
Okay.
I have a copy. The signatories are all there. I know them in person. Abia Charter of Equity is based on two clans.
Okay.
The Old Bende and the Old Aba, and that is what is called Isukwato District. Now, when senatorial zones were created, Isukwato was merged, to Abia North Senatorial Zone. So the basis of the existence of Abia State is based on two major clans.
Okay.
And now, nobody can dispute that. Now, we're not talking about, we're talking about the spirit by which this state was created. And we're living by that spirit. Let me tell you, do you know where the capital of Abia State ought to have been?
Where?
Well, when the Charter of Equity was, was signed when the agreement was made, the capital of Abia State, was called Abia City, and it's supposed to be between Amakama and the Utu. That portion of land there between Amakama and Iputu is supposed to be where the capital of Abia State, situated.
So what happened?
Fine. What happened? Now, what happened, was that those who have been in power, those who have ruled the state all this while, discarded that. Then, because again, when the state was created, irrespective of the agreement reached, by the people, Abuja determined where the capitals will be. Okay. And they named Umuahia. When Abia State was created, Abuja named Umuahia as the capital. But the point remains, that by the agreement of the people themselves, the capital of Abia State ought to be at Abia City. And Abia City situated between Amakama and Iputu, which is, a kind of bringing the two zones, together, One, Amakama is Old Bende, and then Iputu is Ungwa. Just that portion of land there. That is where Abia City is.
Dr. Max, are you saying that Abia State as a state has never followed the Charter of Equity right from
No, I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that because in some areas, it has. For example, in appointments, say if a governor comes from here, then the deputy will come from the other side, and that kind of thing. No, I mean, by and large, they try to implement it when
what about the governorship seat now? The governor's seat, it seems the Abia Charter of Equity has never been followed from your explanation this morning. Mm-hmm. Are you saying that?
Yeah, I can say that, yes. It has not been followed. Because if it has been followed, then immediately after, let me say that, Omodnano's, administration was truncated, by a military coup. He served only for 2 years. But Ojo Carlo, when he finished, ought to have handed over to an Ungwa man. He didn't do that. Mischievously, he handed over to another Bendeman. Old Bendeman. So that's the point. That is where the thing started.
Okay, the lines are very much open right now. Well, it's about 2023 election and, of course, the position of Ukwalangwa elders. I have been speaking with Dr. Max. Of course, Dr. Max is a former lecturer, 1999 Abia State governorship candidate under AD, and the deputy national chairman of DPN during Abacha regime, and also a member of the National Executive Committee of SDP and leader of the Ukwalangwa elders. Of course, that interest group, the communique dropped this week Wednesday, and it's been generating a lot of reactions. Of course, you can be part of the conversation this morning by calling 0808 182 6949 or 0811 605 2949. Also drop messages on 0906 510 8289. Well, Dr. Max is here to answer your questions concerning the position of Ukwalangwa interest group, and also you can drop messages on our Facebook page, Flow 949 FM, and of course, let's see, this will pull through. Glad to have you join us. Welcome to the platform.
Good morning, Mike.
Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning to your guest in the house.
Good morning.
Who say Mano is the name? I'm calling from Mumbai.
All right.
Fortunately, I listened to your guest in the house. Now we are talking about 2023. Like I keep saying, in any radio station in this town, I keep saying that if power belongs to God and power belongs to the people. In as much as we are trying to change the goalpost by Ukwalangwa elders, which is not supposed to be so, because I still believe Charter of Equity talks about three geopolitical zones in Abia State, Abia North, Abia Central, and Abia South. So if I listen to his analysis here, I wasn't happy about the whole narrative. But the governor has come out. Since the governor has come out to tell them, you need to encourage the governor to give more dividend of democracy in 2023 now. We're now talking about 2023. which is still very far. We don't even know whether we'll be alive in that 2023. We are still very busy talking about where power goes or not. Is it not the people that are going to vote? Is it not the people that power belongs to? Is it not God that protects people and give people lives in order to be able to see that 2023 we are talking all about? I'm not just about concerned about what your doctor is saying in that platform. It's not supposed to come on air. Since the governor has told people to cease fire, I believe that we should have respected the governor's wish by what a member can say this morning through the governor. Then you should respect his wish. And
he has the right to his opinion still. Right. Thank you very much for your contribution. Hello, good morning to you. Welcome to the platform on Flow FM.
Yeah, good morning, Mike. My name is Ugochukwu, and I'm calling you from Umuahia.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Demas, good morning, sir.
Good morning, my brother.
Yeah, I'm happy you mentioned Isukwato district while you were making your analysis as part of the zones that make up the Abia Charter of Equity. But you dismissed the same Isukwato district with a senatorial zone that they were now, when the senatorial zones were created, they were carved into Abia North. And in your analysis, you say you never believed that senatorial zones are the basis for which power rotates. So, if you do not believe in senatorial, does it not mean that Isukwato district is the only district that has not produced the governor? That's one question, sir. Another question, sir. You know, in 2015 and 2019, you vigorously campaigned for Dr. Alex Otti, standing against Anongwa Man becoming governor for the first time. What if Dr. Alex Otti had won that election? What morale? How do you feel now coming out to campaign for your zone to be governor when you stood against Anongwa Man becoming governor for the first time in the history of this state? It is noted.
Let's allow him to respond.
These two questions, please. I want you to respond to them.
All right. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us, Dr. Marks.
Yeah. Let me start with the first person who is not very happy that we are talking about the 2023 now. First of all, people are in their farms today, isn't it? Cultivating what they're going to eat, next year. So nobody is saying that you have to wait till next year before you cultivate your farm. What we are trying to do is to look at the situation and aspire for something. Now, it is our belief, that the governor of Abia State has a major role to play in who succeeds him. All of Ikpeazu's predecessors, enjoyed that privilege. Ojuzo Kalu chose TLG. TLG himself chose Ikpeazu. It is our expectation too that Ikpeazu will choose somebody else, isn't it? Now that is something you cannot deny him. All the other governors, enjoyed that privilege, during their tenures. So Ikpeazu should also enjoy that privilege. And we are begging him, from Umunato, we are begging him to remember that we are also stakeholders, in Ukwalangwa. Let me tell you something.
Okay.
A lot of people misconstrue what Senator T.O.G. did, in 2015. Senator T.O.G., people are saying that he is so magnanimous, by giving an Ongwa man the ticket to become governor. It wasn't as it wasn't gratuitous as people say it. What Senator T.O.G. did, was to trade. He traded the governorship for his own senatorial seat.
But it was in the spirit of fairness and equity.
Beautiful. I'm coming.
Okay.
The point I want to make is not just this. The point is that he did a trade. He merchandised. It's okay, I'm going to give you people the governorship, and the governorship is going to go to Abia South. Fine? Then I am going to run for senator. And those who will vote for him are in Abia Central. Remember that, it was the Umunato Ngwa that gave Senator TLG that election. He failed in Umuahia more or less. We made him senator because we were glad that he gave, Abia South, the governorship. And to compensate him, we gave him the Senate seat. To trade, that is to help our brothers, in Abia South, secure the votes for the governorship. The 3 local governments, gave TLG the votes, to secure his own Senate seat. So it is not as gratuitous as people say it.
Okay, let's move to the issue of Isukwato District.
Isukwato District, they have ruled this state, over and over again.
When?
People like Ikenwachukwu, for example, ruled Imo State then, comprising Abia State, and some parts of Ebonyi. Now you also have, Ndubisi Kanu. He's also from the same local government. And mind you, Isukwato District is only one local government, mind you. One local government. But they refused to join Okigwe during the creation of Abia State. They didn't want to join Okigwe. So they remained with us. But we recognize, that they claim to be a distinct people, from the real old Bende people.
Okay.
But it is not our fault, It was also Mr. T.O.G. himself who helped, to create the senatorial zones.
Okay,
because he was
I want us to move very fast that we can allow others. Your affiliation with a former candidate of ABGA in Abia State, it's been mentioned here by the caller.
Yes. Now, people do not understand my politics. My politics is based entirely on principle. Nobody will say that I did not support Okeze Ikpeazu because I did not oppose him. What I opposed, was the process by which the governorship was ceded to him. It was not fair.
That was a party affair, Doctor.
That was a party affair. I agree with you.
Okay.
But me as an outsider, looking at things, I also have the right, to look at things objectively, as I understand it. So what I saw, I did not criticize them. I did not look. My politics in this state, I contested against Oji Lokal. I never attacked him any day, not even for one day. TLJ has been governor for 8 years. I never attacked him, not even for one day. I don't do that. I don't criticize people. I don't do that. I criticize processes.
All right, let's get more reactions on the phone lines. Let's get it more interesting. Glad to have you join us. What's your name?
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Mark, and our guest in the studio.
You're welcome. Good morning. What's your name?
Yeah, I'm Ikechukwu. I'm calling from Isukwato.
All right, Ikechukwu.
Anyway, let me just, at least I'm happy for what Flu FM has been giving us in this case. Let me commend you people. On the other way around, let me go straight to the point. I'm not really happy the way our people is using this governor of the state. Can they allow competence to take the way? So 2023 is still far. Even though it's still far, I would like our people to go inside and look for a credible people to give us, not a matter of zoning. This zoning have done us more than harm than good. Let me say that in 2023, whether our people like it or not, power is rotating to Abia North. Where that is coming from between Ohafia and the Senatorial. That is not even my problem. My problem is now how do we get the credible person, a competent person to rule out the state. The state has been backwardness. Not all these things that people are talking. How this Okane has been here. And we saw Senator T.O.G. Even now, Ibazi is also trying his best.
All right, quickly wrap up
our people should look beyond zonal punching. Thank you very much and have yourself.
All right, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Good morning to you. Welcome to the platform on Flow FM.
Hello, Michael.
Yes, you're welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Comrade Manuel. I'm calling from Amba.
You're welcome, comrade.
Yes, Dr. Mike, there was
My brother.
Karam Kao.
Nkamana.
Because I'm a true son of Okwangwa expression. And I believe that must be, like what you said. I want to ask you, sir, as the leaders in Okwangwa, I believe for you people to come out to make this statement, that you people consult everybody in Okwangwa, both elder, youth, everybody. It's not issue of some people, leaders alone. Youth supposed to be involved for us to get what we want, because Abia belongs to all of us. For this particular issue of governorship race 2023, I believe yes. Okala after his tenure, you hand over to TA Urgent. I want to know the stand of the governor, because, like he said, he is the person out of the 100% to somebody to be a governor. He holds none less than 60. Let the governor let us know his own plan, because he is the chief security officer of the state and they have the capacity to decide. Let us know that. That is my contribution.
Thank you very much, comrade from Abba. Yes, Doctor.
Yeah, first of all, let me thank this last speaker who is warning us more or less, that the governor has more than 60%.
I'm not sure of the statistics.
That's all right, but that's what he said. I agree with him. I agree with him
Yes,
perfectly that the governor has a right. It's a privilege, that all governors have. So it won't be different, from the case of Okezie Ikpeazu will not be different. He will have a say. He will have a say in who succeeds him. That is normal. That is natural. Every governor in this country, does that. Having said that, what we are doing, we are not forcing a candidate on the governor. We don't even have a candidate yet. We are simply...
It looks like that, because that's why people are reacting towards that direction.
Fine. Exactly.
If you say a governor should succeed, someone from Kwalangwa extraction should succeed Governor Okezie Ikpeazu, it looks like you're forcing a candidate on him.
No, come on. No.
Okay.
We are simply pleading with him, reminding him that, when the time comes, let him remember the Okwalangwa people, the Umunato people, who also played a major role in his own election. Let him remember us. Let not only him, let his party remember us. Okay. Let all the parties in Abia State, APC, ABGA, PDP, let them remember us, that we are part of this state and that we have a right like our brothers in Umuahia, Umuahia North and South and Ikuano have. They should also accept the same privilege, to us. That is all we're asking for.
All right, let's get more reactions on the phone lines. Glad to have you join us. Welcome to the platform on Flow FM.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Victor Emmanuel Nduaguike. I'm calling from Amekibe.
You're welcome, Mr. Victor.
Yeah. For a governor to influence the vote and for people to vote according to how a governor wants them to vote means that governor has performed. Now, a situation in this state now where people are trying to bring acrimony about who leads as the governor of the state is not welcome. People should try to advance. Let's leave primordial sentiments. What is Old Bende and what is Abba Zone? We no longer have such demarcation existing anywhere in Nigeria because it is a colonial division and it has colonial mentality. And those that used it during the colonial period have long abandoned it. A modern Nigeria, which doctor himself is a modern Nigeria. He should think and modernize himself to go along with modernity. He should know that senatorial district in the entire country is 3 for every state, and power rotates among the 3 senatorial districts in all the states in Nigeria.
All right, quickly wrap up our
brand of democracy that we are trying to institute. For somebody to come and bring acrimony, division in what they call Old Bende, and Okangwa. It's not accepted. It means that the person is not advanced. It's not developed.
All right, that's a direct attack on my guest, and I wouldn't take that when you say the person is not advanced. Anyways, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us all. Anyways, but let's get more reactions. Good morning to you. We need to get more calls now. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
You're welcome. What's your name?
Yeah, I'm Mr. Isaac from Mr. Languanot.
You're welcome, Mr. Isaac.
Hey, Mama.
Thank you. No.
Please, before the creation of Abia State, before alphabet of Abia State is Afiko, Bende, Isukwato, and Aba. Afiko has taken their own path. Bende has taken their own path for 16 years. This is the time of Aba zone to set their own path for 16 years. 8 years is not enough to develop our area. We have been marginalized politically for a very long time. Okay, Ibanzu leadership is not much favorable with this. We need our own person, the Umunna people. Our vote is much. Our vote can make a senator. This is our own time. Nobody should contest it with us. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. On the SMS line, we've got a lot of messages here. Good morning, Mike. Samuel from Umuahia says, I am supporting in case of where the capital city is supposed to be, because not until recently has there been development in Nduaguike. All right. This one says, let's be honest to the political arrangement. All the zones have taken their turns. If the arrangement should be maintained, now it's the turn of Abia North. That's coming from Kanu Zomba from Isukweto. All right. This one says, no. Okay, you should not use sensible anyways. No one will contest this political balance. Yes, the Ungwas have been sidelined enough. It will balance the long agitation. Old Bender 16 years, old Abba 16 years. Honorable Kako from Umuahia. All right, Honorable Kako. Good morning to you, Mr. Mike. I'm Uchechukwu Chikeze from Akole. Dr. Master suggests it's better to allow the electorate to choose who leads them come 2023 than to be distracting the present government. Don't forget that in your analysis, you've admitted that our dear governor is also from the same Ukwalangwa. All right, Ibe from Iselangwa says, Old Bende, 8 years, TAOG 8 years, Ipazu 8 years, yes, Ungwa 8 years. All right. Ojuzo and TAOG came and from Old Bender zone, and they have ruled the state for good 16 years. And Ungwa man has taken only 8 years. Therefore, it's right and normal for Rundi Ungwa na Ukwa to complete their second 8 years. This is nothing like Senatorial district. All we should look at is the 2 blocks of Old Bender and Ukwa Ungwa blocks. All right, let's see. We've got messages also on our Facebook page. Our time is fast spent. We need to step out of the studio already. But this one is coming from Chiagoziem Enoch. If the Old Bender has done 16 years, it's equitable that Old Abba zone is allowed to do 16 years. Doctor, we need to step out of the studio already. Our time is fast spent. I want to really appreciate your time this morning on the platform on Flow FM. Thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Max Nduaguike. Do appreciate your time on the platform on Flow FM.
Thank you so much. I'm grateful.
Thank you very much. And also many thanks to my producer, Samson Eze, and also Uyaya Basi Jimmy. And the guy behind the visuals on our Facebook page, Solomon. Do join us on Monday. That will be the start of a new week for another edition of the platform on Flow FM. My name is Michael Oni. Enjoy your weekend.